Welcome everyone, it's Jarf here from Medieval Mirage. It's the 1st of October 2021 and I've just been editing my videos for showcasing the panels and how to make the panels. But for some reason I'm all over the place with that video. I don't think I explained things very well, so I thought I'd just sort of slot this somewhere so that it makes a little bit of sense. So welcome, first of all. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, now many of you have mentioned that you would like to see how I put these panels together, and that's what this video tutorial is about. I'm just going to focus on the panels. I had hoped to do how I constructed this whole journal in one go, but it's almost like 3 or more hours. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have to split them up in different parts. So please be assured that they are coming. The construction of my journal covers, how I painted, you know, in some aspects you'll get aspects of how I painted these. You're also going to get to see how you can make one that's complete, all in one. So rather than having these like this, I'll show you how to make an all-in-one as well. So that's a little surprise that's coming. Now, it wasn't very clear in the video that's going to follow this, but this part here is actually in the what do we call it, in the gift giveaway, which I'll list below. This one here. These ones here that are featured are actually in my shop, so they'll be listed below if you're interested in these panels. And these jewelry pieces, I will be doing a separate video on how I made these. So all you'll be seeing today is basically the simple way of putting your panels in there, and I just talk a little bit about a lot of my covers in my shop, because I have, I think, about 6 sets, 5 to 6 sets, or 6 sets including the Medieval Bohemian Eclectic Accessories one, because there's a lot of panels in that one. But really it's super easy, and yeah, but for those of you that want to give this a go, there is something available in the gift giveaway. Very easy, the panels, but it'll be done all in sections. So today is just how I added the panels, and when I get around to it, I'll edit how I did the journal jewelry. There's an extra for that. I'll also be showing you how I made the covers, how I made these holes, how I did the interior, how I did the wax seal there, you know, how I've kind of put all this together. You'll get to see it, but they're very lengthy, so I'm going to have to edit them into segments, part 1, part 2, and so forth. So please join me on this journey, and thank you everyone. Thank you for your patience, especially Rondalee and Donna. I had been conversing with them through Etsy, and mentioning that these videos would have been done and dusted a couple of weeks ago now. I do apologize for the delay. Thank you everyone for your patience and for your beautiful support. So please stay tuned for the next part of this, which was done, I don't know, a few days ago, or yeah, I don't know, was it the 23rd of September? I don't know. Days are blurring into one for me. But anyway, please stay tuned for this, and I hope I've explained this a little bit better than, and I hope I haven't confused you even more. But yeah, I will put a timeline for you if you want to just get straight to the panels and don't want to hear me waffling away. But sometimes there's things that are pertinent to these kits that might sort of be important. So if you miss anything, just go back to the beginning and I'm sure it'll fill you in, I hope. Hey everyone, welcome. Today is the 23rd of September 2021. Welcome, it's Jarf here from Medieval Mirage. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to have your company today. Thank you everyone for your beautiful support. I know I haven't been able to get back to leaving comments, but I have use of my husband's tablet, and when I'm having those really difficult days and I need a bit of rest, I've got that tablet, and even though I can't sign in because it's with his tablet and leave comments, I do have a look, and I just want to say thank you so much. I will be definitely doing my best to respond as soon as possible, either with a love heart or a little simple comment, but please know all your comments are appreciated, and I really appreciate your kindness and support. You've been absolutely wonderful, bearing with me with my eczema on my hands. It has improved so much more. It's just that the residue looks like I've had 3-degree burns in some instances, depending on the day. So that's why I've got my gloves, and I know they're a bit grotty, but you know, they're good grotty because they're crafting grotty, you know. Okay, so I do apologize. It's taken me so long to actually talk about my journal covers and how to make my journal covers. So I finally got my act together. I haven't finished the insides, but I just wanted to show you that this tutorial is about the panels and the covers. Okay, and then I really want to thank Maddie of Crafty Law, who's on my design team. Hey Maddie, darling. Yeah, she's such a beautiful person, just inspiring. She is so creative and so beautiful. I hope you're well, Maddie. Anyway, on Etsy, we were just communicating through Etsy conversation, and she mentioned to me about these covers, and I'm so grateful to you, Maddie, because I realized that there were other people had also made comments, how do you do these panels? And many customers have been buying these, and so I felt, right, I'm going to get my act together and film right now. Whether you're a beginner or advanced, absolutely this will be in your skill set for sure. It's in the gift giveaway. So I'll try and link the videos where all of the gift giveaways are, so please feel free to download them. If you are new and this is something that interests you, please consider subscribing, because, you know, in good faith, these are all for my subscribers. So if you subscribe, you're most welcome to use it. But I did this with gold foiling in the laminator, but don't worry for those of you that cannot do gold foiling with a laminator. I do have other tutorials for that are coming on the wide range of ways that you can create this kind of effect without any special tools. Just sort of hold them up so you can see what they look like. This hasn't been finished, it's just there to look pretty. But to showcase that, because you can create these. Now, you won't get to see all of this done. So this is how I've done this in this series. So this is coming, the inside covers will be coming. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But I wanted to show you also how you can use the inside, these panels for inside decoration. So, you know, you can put anything through there, and you can have it so that it slips in and slips out if you want, or you can have it glued down. But this is just very handy for keeping your papers in for this particular use of this kit, of this tutorial of mine. Okay, so you would have seen how this was made, and I still have yet to do this with you. So that's going to be done in another tutorial, so it's coming. This is already been filmed, so we'll be doing all of this. You'll get to see how I've done all of this. So please do stay tuned for those. And this one here has my labels from the gift giveaway. It's just tucks in there and it's magnetized. So I wanted to keep a little bit of a contrasting color, like red, because there's a little bit of kind of red there, and then that's why I chose the red for that. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one is, again, very plain. I haven't done anything to this one because I thought we could do it together. But this is what I wanted to show you. When you are putting anything on your covers, just remember it will sit high on the desk. So just be mindful of that. If you want a flat surface, then keep this to a minimum. But if you don't mind, then just be mindful that there's something resting there. And that's why you want these to adhere really, really well. And what else can I say? So I'll be showing you how I'm going to outfit this as well. As you can see, I haven't done that yet either. But these have all been pre-recorded, this one especially, and for all of you that have been asking and saying, you know, can we please see how you make these, then please stay with me and watch this. It's great to have your company. It's the 23rd of September 2021, and finally I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Now, we're going to do the journal jewellery at another time. I'm sorry if that's what you were hoping for today. But it's worth to do it on its own because there's quite a few things involved, and I've got something else that I want to share with you. But all it is with these panels, so obviously you're going to print them out on good quality paper, and all you have to do is get a good glue. So a good glue would be either tacky glue, and this is craft glue. This is acetone based, so it's like Fabri-Tac but cheaper, not in quality, in quantity. It is so cheap over here in Australia compared to Fabri-Tac or Helmer's or fabric glue that's available here. But it's fantastic. I'm going through these like crazy, so I'm glad I kind of stocked up. And then there's this fantastic tacky glue, and it's done by, I think, Spotlight. They've called it Crafter's Choice. The other glue you could use is a PVA glue. Yeah, and sometimes depending on how I'm feeling, I might use some of this, and then I might get my a Yoo-hoo stick, and I might use the Yoo-hoo stick to apply this glue or this glue. It's just sort of like a double fixture, and it just helps smooth it around, and it keeps it moist, because sometimes when you're brushing them down, if you've got quite a big area, it's already kind of starting to dry at one end, and that can cause issues. So I'll always kind of open one of these up, you know, throw my glue down, up and down. Obviously this would be this way up, and then I just spread it with this. And you know, if there are some areas that I by accident miss or human error miss, there's glue on there to make sure there's good coverage. But I will tell you this, if you are going to use it with an acetone base glue, it kind of messes it up a little bit. So you just want to have one handy that you use for spreading your glue. It's just my go-to. The other way to spread it is obviously with a brush. I like to use a big brush, not a tiny one. I just find tiny brushes are only necessary for detail. I like to slap things on quickly, so the bigger the brush, I'm happy. Or pieces of leftover cardstock, cardboard, I use it, and I try to do a big, you know, one go spread and one go that way. So that's the way I go about it. Okay, now, for me, if you've got a really, really good strong adhesive stick, then by all means test it out. But they are quite good, don't get me wrong, but I just like to have that added security. So as I was saying before, these are two of my go-tos. I can't remember what my other ones are because they're in the other room. and I just don't want to make this video too long. But it is pretty self-explanatory for those that are beginners right up to advanced. Okay, so see how I'm pulling these off, and see, here's another one here. Now, what you can use for these, let me just show you. So see, can you see how thick they are? I won't give you measurements now. I've got a few here. Can you see how thick each one is? That's what you're aiming for. You want something nice and thick because you want to create dimension to your journals. So I like to create a panel. What I'm going to show you today, you glue it on to a piece of nice board. Glue it down and then decorate it how you want, and it creates a 3D feel. It creates depth, and that's what I love about doing the covers this way. So you want to make sure you have a good glue, and you want to make sure you have something that's really going to be good cardstock. This is actually a sketchbook. You're going to have to raid all your sketchbooks from your kids or your neighbors or whatever, and get the backing of them. Oh my goodness, this will save you so much money. You've already spent a lot of money on your sketchbook. Why not, if you've finished with it, why not just grab that? You may like to have them on there, but personally for me, no. They're going to be used for my journal crafting. So look at the real estate there, lovely and thick as you can see, and that's what I've used for a lot of these. Not this one per se. This one was really heavy cardstock. It was a calendar, and I used that. I think I might have even doubled up the calendar, and I used that for that. So anything that's nice and firm, that's going to keep these papers nice and taut, is your friend. So there's that. And then you can just paint them if you want to with gesso. So this is colored gesso or antique green, I can't remember now, but it's just gesso. And I always do my gessoing all at once, get them done all at once so that I have, you know, tons in stock. And this is exactly the same as this, and it's exactly the same as this. So notebook, so your notebooks, big A4 foolscap notebooks, get those backings. Wow, they are a minefield for you. And this is the same thing, but I've painted it up with the gesso. You don't have to if you don't want to. This is pretty good. However, it can sometimes, things can soak into these if they're not primed, and therefore can sort of, I don't know, compromise slightly the ability for something to glue there or for paint to stay there. It can over time leach into the cardboard. So if you can get some gesso, it doesn't have to be expensive, the cheapest you can find. I think you can even make your own gesso. Give it a quick coat over. You will feel like you've laid that foundation, that prime, and you're great to go. You've got a bit of a level of protection. So this is what you use as your backing. So now just say, pretend this is just a piece of the panel that I've cut out. You want good quality printable paper. If you want to use photography paper, I've used it. I do talk about that in one of my tutorials. I'll try and link that below. It's one-sided and it's 180 GSM. That's really good quality. And with some of them, I've done it with that, but with my other papers that I use. So Ink Ghost does an excellent paper, but it's a lot finer. I think it might be, I don't know, between 100 and 120 GSM, and then the double-sided one is 120 GSM. You want good quality paper for your panels. They're going to get a lot of wear and tear and probably sun damage and hopefully not rain damage. You don't want that to happen. And I've done this on an inkjet printer. So once I've I've got my paper printed, I can then cut it out. I'll use any one of these glues on the back, and then I will glue it down on one of these like this, or I have it already cut out. So you can do it either or either. You can cut it out once it's glued this way to have it cut out the right size and then glue it down. And make sure you have it clipped on nice and firmly to glue it down. Now when you're gluing it down, it's always a good idea to have something to protect your image. You don't want any glue going on there. So all I would do once I've glued these together, okay, glued them together, I'm going to lay it down flat somewhere, and then I'm going to put my waxed paper or baking paper on there. Okay, so I've got these two tools. This is what I have purchased from a cake department section in our Spotlight kind of craft shop. So it's to, you know, smooth over your icing on your cake. And this one, I don't know, I think I got it from a hardware shop. It's kind of a squidgy thingy. I don't know what it's called, sorry. I use this to, first of all, spread the glue out, all right? So I'm spreading it to those corners because you want those corners to be adhered to, otherwise they'll just be ready to be flicked off if your finger gets caught under there. So you're gonna swipe everything through, and then just to make sure, I'll then smooth it all down just to make sure everything's adhered with this protecting it. And then once that's done, you can, if you want to, just to protect what you've done, then you can put your clips here. I use clothes pegs, by the way, as my clips, and you wait till it's dry. Okay, then once it's dry, once your panels are dry, you're going to, have I done this one? Okay. All right, so then you've glued it down beautifully. You're really happy with what it's doing. I like to grab any metallic paint that's gold. If you like silver, go for silver. If you like magenta or teal that's metallic, you use what you love. But I'm always into this because with medieval stuff, Renaissance, Byzantine, they all use gold illuminating. So that's what I'm always after. And of course, that beautiful bohemian look looks gorgeous with your sari silks and stuff like that. So it really gives it that kind of touch of, you know, regal and regal antiquity. Okay, I always use saran wrap, and as you can see, I just use it and use it and use it until it starts, you know, falling apart, or it has a rainbow of colors that might interfere. But you only just need a little bit. And where did the lid go? Generally, anyway, I'll just need a bit of scrap paper for this, or here we go. All right, so you're just going to dab a bit down there, and all I do is I run my finger along there. Now you might want to ink this up instead. If you prefer to get that more of a vintage look, you can. You can absolutely do the inking up first. Some of them I've even inked on the paper to just dull down the color. Let's just continue going on. But yeah, as I was saying, if you want to yeah, just use your ink pad to do this, then absolutely go for it. I'm just showing you what you can do either with, after you've inked it, or without inking it. You can still get good coverage with this, and it just makes it pop from the rest of the journal. So yeah, anyway, I hope you're all well and coping with this ongoing pandemic and all the other things that are going on around the world, which are concerning. Yeah. It's nice to escape into a creative world, isn't it? Now, I'm very heavy-handed with my gold because I don't mind. So you might choose to maybe get a texture. If you've got a gold metallic texture, like a Sharpie, then you can just go around the edges with that if you're afraid that it's going to kind of go onto your covers there. But I don't mind that. I really actually, you know, like that bit of the effect. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right, so that's what you do. Now, you might feel that this is too white for you. Go and get your sponge and your ink pad, like Vintage Photo or, I don't know, Espresso or whatever colors you've got. I think I've got potting. What's my one? I do have a few, but look at this sponge. I do have a few. See, this is me. I don't like the little ones. I'm not good at it. I think I've, you know, feel a little bit disabled using that little one. I'm always making mistakes with that. And look, so many of you are just such elegant handlers that I'm not. I'm just sort of, let's plonk it all on one go. And so I use a lot of this. And that's why these, you know, disintegrate over time. But yeah, I really love the coffee one. It's a beautiful color. And I've actually laid it onto this. So I think this is roughly the original color there, but see, I darkened it. And all I would have done at the time was just grab a bit of this with my big sponge and just, you know, build it up slowly. You don't have to go straight. You can sort of lay down your first layer there and then just keep building it up, and you can really age it if you wish. And like I said, you can go around your edges first, but if you do want just gold first, just do the gold. And if you feel that you don't like the gold, then grab your ink pad and this and then go around it. That's how you antique your gold. Okay, so anyway, you can see how I've kind of been quite liberal with this coming through. I don't care that there's little patches of that come from there. I think it adds to that kind of old world look. And this one has quite a bit because I felt it needed to stand out from its background too. Okay, have I missed a step? Have I missed a step? Because we're going to be gluing it down. I hope not, and I'm sorry if I have, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Right, so what I wanted to say was, so if you feel happy with your covers now, then I would recommend you sealing them somehow. Now, you might choose to wait till everything's glued down and then give your journal covers without this thing here in the middle, say. Giving your journal covers, the whole lot, a good spray over. You know, once it's all glued down, you might just spray it over just to seal everything. That's if you're happy with what you've done. I think you should be okay adding more later. But yeah, so, or if you would rather just spray that separately and then spray this separately, and then glue it down. It's totally up to you. It will just help seal the ink jet because you know how it reacts to water. You want to make sure it stays safe. And that's generally why I like to spray on my clear sealer varnishy thing, and I always go for a matte. A satin finish is okay, but I think gloss is probably too shiny for me, but each to their own. So you choose the best way about it. You can use your Mod Podge kind of mix together because Mod Podge can be a sealer. if you want to, but personally for me, I like to just give it a good spray. I do that outside. I wait till I've got a few together. I've got a nice big cardboard box where I do it in. Go outside when it's a fine day, which can be rarely seen in Melbourne, though we've had a very mild kind of, well, we've had a sunny winter, that's for sure. But yeah, you can spray it outside so that you're not getting the fumes inside. But yeah, stay safe with those sprays and any chemicals. And so, let's get gluing. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually take this out because we're going to be gluing our covers. So yeah, I really love this. I only had this piece. And I thought, right, well, this belongs here. I need something pretty and boho, medieval looking there to enjoy for myself. So, you know, yeah. Okay. So with your cover, what you're going to do, you're going to need some form of sanding, ability to sand something back. Now, I'm just going to give this a light sand so that I give it a little bit of tooth for this to glue on. Now, this is actually gesso, by the way. So this is the same gesso. It just looks different. So this is the same. It just looks different because this was a repurposed book that I cut down, which I also show you how to make. Okay. So I'm just going to sand that down, even though there's gesso on it. I just want to give it a bit of tooth so that we can glue down these panels. And I'm going to go with that one. So make sure you know, I might even sand this back as well, because this has got a little bit of a what do you call it? That kind of glossy finish. So I'm going to kind of do that as well. So I'm going to just do that off camera. All I'm doing is this. And you'll be able to feel afterwards that it's not that smoothness. It kind of has no slippery feel to it. That's the word. Okay, so see how I've done that? That looks actually quite good. I might just need to do a little bit more, but you get the idea. It's just a little bit around the edges. And I'm going to do the same with this. Doesn't really need much. So be generous with your glue when you're doing your panels. These are going to be needing quite a lot of support. So you can see what I mean. It gets pretty messy. So if you don't want to ruin your glue stick, don't do this. Just use something. Oops. Just use something else that you can use in the meantime. Okay. So now I have to be extremely careful that I don't hurt what's underneath. So I've got a bit of this sponge. So I'm going to go on the top. I do have some foam somewhere. But anyway, that's firm enough. So that's just to protect. So you can see how this is like a little mini table now. I'm going to grab this. And okay, all right, so remember how I said be careful not to get glue on there? Well, I did. and so you're going to be much more alert to that than I am. Always check your work, because sometimes it can slide off underneath the what you have there. So I'm always checking my edges, and this is quite clean, so I'm quite happy to put this on there. It's really glued on beautifully. Okay, so that's done, and I'm really happy with that. Now this is the time where you can decide how you're going to pin this down. You might want to just put it under some wax paper and put a book just on top of here. So but you can't really do that if you've got that. So I would just, I don't know, either babysit it, and you could be watching TV or YouTube. You just babysit it, or you can put pegs. If you haven't got something like that, then absolutely put a heavy book only on this side, not on your spine or anything, you'll bust your spine, but on here. I just realized I haven't painted along there. But yeah, so that's how that's looking, and it's doing a good job. So just keep your eye on things. Now, if for some reason there's parts that are sticking up, one of my secrets one of my tips, I should say, is you're just going to get like anything like this, like some paper. You're going to put a little bit of your glue, and then you're going to just tuck it into where, just tuck it into the gaps. Just put it in there. But I would just wait until it's done to do that, because sometimes it will adhere. It just needs a bit of time. And but yeah, that's done a really nice job. Okay, all right, so let's continue. Okay, so this is a glue book that I use. I love the size of the pages. So I'm sorry if I make you hungry with this there, or it might not make you hungry. It might do the opposite. Okay, so say for example you are going to be using, say you haven't got anything on hand, but you need to get this done, and you're going to use cardboard that hasn't really been primed, then treat it like fabric. And this is where the acetone comes in. You can treat it like fabric, you know, because fabric doesn't always have teeth. But yeah, you can use it this way. Now this is why I love doing it this way. This just glides beautifully with the stick. So so if you can afford to, you know, sacrifice one of your glue sticks to spread out glues for this purpose, then, you know, it is very helpful. And I usually just find it so much easier. Okay. Now obviously this might have oozed, whoops, I've just noticed, this might have oozed to the end, to beyond this. So just be careful when you're picking it up. So I'm going to, I should have already ripped this off. Okay. Just going to put that down there. And okay, I have to decide which side I'm going to have up and which side down. So make sure you decide that before, that it is not moved, because it can be slippery. And you've still got a bit of wiggle room. That's what's really great. Okay, I think I'm really good there. Okay, so you might find that a little bit of the glue will possibly peek through. You can go tucking it underneath or picking it off. That's the problem with acetone. It's very stringy, extremely stringy, but that's probably the only worst thing about it. Okay, so that's that. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah. Just move it a little bit. Okay, so just keep sort of trying to flatten it down. And yeah, if you find that it's you know, struggling to adhere, then I would just grab my, what I was saying before, and oops, so I might just use this because this is a little bit firmer. Okay, so make sure you do it separately, somewhere where you can lay, here we go, there's quite a bit oozing out there. It's an eruption. Okay, and just, it's probably a bit too much there. Try not to get it onto your cover. Just smear it along there. There's a few little goobers hanging around, but that's okay, I don't mind them. And making sure you haven't got any glue on your hands, then you're going to press it down. And it may again need either pegs or a book or babysitting with you holding it down. The great thing about these goober, the stringiness of this, is that it does come off, and that's what I like about it. You know, you can take off that stringiness if it goes onto your cover, but yeah. Okay, yeah, very pleased with that as well. All right, so basically before you do anything else, like if you're thinking of gluing on, so you've decided that you do want some pieces of jewelry or other kind of elements on there, I would definitely recommend that you wait till these have dried before we get continue. Okay, but yeah, I'm really wrapped with the way that's looking. And this is sort of, so just keep an eye on things, because sometimes things can ooze out, and this is the time to be kind of getting rid of the bits of glue that, you know, need to be picked off. If for some reason you can't pick off your glue, don't worry, you can paint on it with a bit of the glue, with the gold or the green or whatever color you've got, and it will just look textured. That's what's so great about this. So don't be too upset if there's a bit of gold somewhere. I mean, a bit of glue hanging out somewhere. So yeah, but that's what it's looking like, everyone, and I'm really happy with the results. I don't know if I'll do anything at the back. I might just leave it like this. I like the look of it, and I don't think I'll do anything on the spine. I'm just going to keep these really, really simple. What I wanted to show you was, isn't that garish? I've got tons of those covers, but yeah, I have been definitely using the covers, but they're not a pretty sight. So I just need to just do a little tiny bit of filing there, or sanding, because a lot of it, you know, it was a challenge just to get rid of it, but and then I'll just paint that up. So excuse that kind of, you know, stark garish color just poking through, but other than that, yeah. And I do love this poking through, that's why I had it that way. So yeah, you'll be seeing me do these, and when yeah, okay, I better just check them, check that they're doing a good job here. You know, just keep checking, because there's still a bit of wriggle room with. I do love the aged buckling and warpedness of this one. I really love it a lot. Okay, so that's that one, and then there's that one. Beautiful. Okay, so I recognize that the videos are so long, and so I just wanted to assure you that this video is just for the panels, but I couldn't fit the videos of the construction of these journals. So they're going to be coming soon. So please keep watching this space, because I'll be making them available as soon as they're edited. So I hope you've enjoyed this particular video with how I put together the panels and how really easy they are, and I hope you can enjoy them, and I'll see you guys down the track when I release the other videos. Thank you so much, everyone. Please take care. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.